The Civil War ended on April 9, 1865. Confederate General Robert E. Lee surrendered to Union General Ulysses S. Grant at the Appomattox Courthouse in Virginia. The Union won the war. At last, the fighting and bloodshed could end. 2 years earlier, President Abraham Lincoln made the Emancipation Proclamation. Lincoln warned the Southern states that most of their slaves would be forever free if the rebellious states did not rejoin the Union by January. Lincoln also announced that former slaves were free to join the Union Army. Many people didn't hear about the order for years. It wasn't until June 19, 1865, more than 2 months after the war ended, that slaves in Texas learned they were free. Sally is a 10-year-old girl who lived with her mother on a plantation in Texas. Read about the day she found out she was free. I couldn't believe the news. We were free. We didn't have to work for Mr. Smith any longer. Mama and I were outside hanging laundry to dry. Mama was singing me a song she used to sing when she was a little girl in Africa. Just then, a tall, thin man in a Union uniform rode up on his horse. There were 3 other soldiers with him. They were talking about the war. I started asking all kinds of questions, but Mama told me to hush up and listen. The man's name was General Gordon Granger. He gave us the exciting news. The Civil War was over at last. The Union had won. Then the general went up to the house to speak with our owner, Mr. Smith. After a while, Mr. Smith called for all of his enslaved people. We had to meet with him out under the big oak tree. He told us we were all free now. He explained that President Lincoln had given an order he had to follow. He said we could leave right away if we wanted. Mama says the first thing we're going to do is look for Papa. We haven't seen him in more than 3 years when he was sold to another man. Mama says we are going to have to work real hard because we don't have much money. I'm a little bit scared because we don't have a house now, but I'm excited too. I'm always going to remember this day, June 19th, 1865. Mama's free now. Papa's free now. I'm free now too. Today is the best day of my life.